Hi friends, we are coming to the end of this lesson. Tomorrow we will start with activities in the text. So for the time being we will go through the difficult words. Refugee camps, camps where you have got refugees. Adequate health care means enough health care. For example, most of the hospitals have adequate health care facilities. Adequate means enough, sufficient. Repressive means giving no freedom of action, no freedom of speech, and so on. Repressive. Dictatorships are repressive. One-man rule. Wherever you have got a one-man rule, usually it would be repressive. They won't give any freedom. It's dictatorship. Devalue means not give enough value or importance. Devalue. In some countries they devalue principles. So they don't give any importance to principles of life. Some people, not some countries, but some people, they devalue principles of life. And then you have got insist on means stress, give importance, insist on, stress. Don't stress on something. I insist on you to bring textbooks in the class. I insist on you means I give importance or I stress the point that you should bring textbooks in the class. Insist on. Negative stories means sufferings. Negative stories. For example, if you say, yesterday I had my stomach was paining, then that is a negative story. Or you say, in my childhood, I used to be beaten up every day by my father, then that is a negative story. If you say, in my childhood, my father used to take me and kiss me every day, then that is a positive story. The other is a negative story. Flattening the experience means flatten my experience, means sameness. Everything is same, that is flatten the experience. For example, if you give, suppose all of you are writing the same story, then that will be flattening the story. Against means no variety. That is, flattening means no variety, absence of variety. That's the thing. Each one should write his own story, not all of you writing one story. All of you writing one story would be flattening experience, flattening the story, no variety, sameness against. You don't want that. Overlook means don't give importance. Whenever you talk in the class, I overlook it. That means I don't give importance to it. But don't talk in the class. Stereotypes is sameness. Everything is same. That is, stereotypes means there should be variety. Again, absence of variety. Absence of variety means stereotypes. So, for example, school uniforms are stereotypes. School uniform, everybody is the same. But you have got variety on Sundays and Saturdays and holidays. School uniforms are stereotypes. See? Or also you can say the same example of flatten you can use here also. Your dressing style is flattened by wearing uniforms. Everybody is the same, not variety. Understand? Stereotypes, same thing. Flattening experience, stereotypes, almost the same thing. Insist on, these are good words, insist on. I insist on you, you are coming on time in the class. I insist on you. See? You should provide adequate food to your pet dogs. Sometimes what happens, domestic animals, they are not looked after carefully, properly. So we say, should give adequate food to your domestic animals. Don't devalue your first term marks. That means, don't think that your first 10 marks are unimportant. Some people think that, at the end I will come up. That will not happen. Negative stories. Everybody has some negative stories to tell in their lives. Isn't it? Negative stories to tell in your lives. I had a teacher, he used to hit like this. With this he used to hit. When you make mistakes in the class. That's a negative story. Today nobody will do that. Right? Okay. So here we go to the text. But I also had grandfathers who died in refugee camps. Camp is very, very familiar now, known to you. Camp. Camps where people go when we have floods around. Camp. Here refugees. Refugees means people who don't have a place to live in. They have no place to live in. So they will be accommodated in camps. So such camps are called refugee camps. Those people who have no land of their own to live, that is, they are called refugees. Yes. So, say that somebody has said that, some people say that only people with sufferings can produce great works of art. So, and then she said, no, I cannot, because I am a successful writer, but I had a very happy family life, full, plenty of laughter, love, and also I lived in a close-knit family. Last sentence you remember. But he says, I also have got sufferings. Yes, that is not just the single story that I have to tell you about me. I have also sufferings. My grandfathers, they died in refugee camps without food. They were starving. My cousin Polly died because he could not get adequate health care. He was sick. There was not possibility of giving him right medicine at the right time. There was no doctors. So he died. There is another tragic story. A third tragic story is my closest friend Okoloma died in a plane crash because our fire trucks did not have water. Already I have got 3 tragic stories. One, my grandfathers died in refugee camps, probably starving. Another, my cousin, he died, he did not have enough health care. Another tragic story, my friend Okoloma died because fire trucks should take water, but here is no water. Right. And fourth one, I grew up under repressive military governments. Repressive means no freedom of speech, and you are always watched. Plus, you have no rights. You have no freedom, no rights, and you are always under. Sometimes you write, you are under camera. You are under camera observation. Something like that you can say. Say, camera is always watching you. Our privacy is gone. So like this, in dictatorships it is like that. That devalued education, did not give any importance to education. So that sometimes my parents were not paid their stories. Who told you I don't have tragic stories? I will give you 4. 1, death of my grandfathers. 2, death of my cousin, Polly. 3, death of my friend, Okoloma. 4th, my parents working without salary under a military regime, repressive military regime. 4 tragic stories. All of these stories make me who I am. So when I said that I had a happy family life, when I said that I had plenty of laughter, when I said that I had plenty of love, when I said that I had the luck of living in a close-knit family, That is only one side of the coin. There is another story. Story of sufferings, 1, 2, 3, 4. Both these together make who I am. So I am I, not a single story. But I have got many other stories. All of these stories make me who I am. What are the stories? Grandfathers, 2, my cousin 3, my friend 4, my parents without salary. But to insist on only these negative stories, sufferings. But to tell you only or to give stress upon these sufferings, stories of sufferings, is to flatten my experience. Make it flatten means no variety. Absence of variety in my experience. If I tell you only about my sufferings, then my experience is flattened because there is no variety. But when I tell you about, when I tell you about my negative stories also, my positive stories also, then what happens is there is some variety. Flatten my experience and overlook the many other stories that formed me. Overlook means not to give importance. And to overlook, not to give importance to many other stories. If I give only a list of sufferings, then there will be no variety in my life. But there are many other stories that formed me. Then that is what I am. The single story creates stereotypes. The single story creates absence of variety. Suppose I say only positive stories. There is no variety. Suppose I say only negative stories. No variety. But if I say negative and positive, sufferings as well as blessings, then there is variety. Grace, the stereotypes. The problem with stereotypes is not that they are untrue, but they are incomplete. If I hide one side and project the other side, it becomes dull, stereotype, dull, no variety. Plus, he says, it will remain incomplete. And also it will be untrue. And they are incomplete. They make one story because they make one story become the only story. That is the danger of a single story. They make one story become the only story. That means that is the danger of a single story. The danger of a single story, it will flatten your experience. It will be incomplete. It will be untrue. And then it will be either of negative stories or only of positive stories. Therefore, very dangerous. Your views should not be single. Your story should not be single. The danger of a single story. You understand that? So I have simplified it for you. I will read that out for you. Those of you which can write down, I'll be reading very slowly. Some people say that great works can be written only by those who suffer a lot in their lives. But Chimamanda says that she had a wonderful childhood. At the same time, she gives a list of sufferings she had in her life. Her grandfathers had died in refugee camps starving. Her cousin Polly had a tragic death because he could not get enough medicines and care. One of her friends, Okoloma, died in a plane crash because fire trucks had no water. She grew up under military governments who did not give any importance to education. So her parents were not paid their salaries. These sufferings and also her happy childhood become part of her story, not just the tragic experiences. If we give too much importance only to negative stories, the experience of a person would become dull, uninteresting, incomplete, and also would remain untrue. This is the danger of a single story. The Danger of a Single Story by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. Tomorrow onwards, from tomorrow, we will take up the textual activities one by one. Two simple ones I will leave out because that you can do for yourself. Difficult ones definitely we will do together in the class. Till then,